Oh, yeah. Alex Bissett. Who else do I have? Walter, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Walter Townsend. Dan Gritsko.
Here.
Who did I miss? Roger Whitley.
Here. Present.
Mr. Heisen. Ms. Angevine.
Here.
Mayor Smith.
Yep. So. The first thing on the agenda after, so I got this thing. And general modifications, anybody have anything that's not on the agenda that you want to know?
All right, update you guys about the signs.
Oh, good.
You get that later on.
Yeah, that's already there. Yeah. Part of the cash. Yeah. So, I was more short for, connected with the town of the third, with, James Walker. And, discussed rights up now, as it seems that there are. Not a misunderstanding, initially, I just think it kind of morphed into a, situation where the vendors are not, paying any meal tax. What they're selling down there, and they're supposed to. And most of them did have either a license in town, because they're an offshoot of something already established, where they had the temporary, different license. So the license wasn't a big problem. It's the talking to James, talked to Jacqueline and Ben about the meals tax thing. So next day we were contacted by Jacqueline, and she's working on her end of the meals tax thing. But, for a vendor down there, you have to have a license to pay the meals tax. Other than that, that was made to us that the kind of museum board meeting, they're working on a new website, very long, it's put together, it's really gonna be a nice one. It's have it finished, I have a cover. What's that? We are Lucy, the president of the board, has talked to a foundation that works with the public spaces to make it more handicap. Over there, basically, see what they can do in the way of funding grants. Easier access, because you're handicapped, you might look different. So, working on that one. And it's beautiful, night out, rain's kind of cut short, but past a little it's rain with cheap. And it was just a real grand event for the community and the weather. Not cool today, but next, always next year, right? Always next year. All right, so that's my go on, talk with the chief.
Mr. Mayor, thank you, town council members. As you can see, a couple of significant calls for service that we had this past month. We had gotten be on the lookout for a suspect vehicle that was involved in an assault at Raymond in Albemarle County. The vehicle was traveling southbound on Scottsville Road. Hospital DUI. One of our officers was positioned in a place where they could determine and get behind the vehicle. Got behind the vehicle, the driver was showed signs of being intoxicated. He attempted a traffic stop, and the vehicle made a hard left-hand turn up Birch Street at higher speed. As the driver went out of the turn, struck another vehicle in the rear and rolled over through the intersection at James Road and Lemon Road. The driver was arrested and charged without moral offenses, felony eluded police, DUI, second offense, and refusal. We assisted HTPD with a couple of burglaries. One was a 2 Creek Road. That investigation was turned back over to them for the follow-up. The other one,
I'm sorry, Chief,
yes, sir.
just to clarify, what does that DUI second offense is, what was that?
So he had been charged with the first offense, convicted of DUI. And this was his second offense, charged with DUI, but he wouldn't get the breath test, so he was charged with refusal as well.
And just, if you get a first DUI, does that mean you lose your license the first one?
You will lose your license, but the judge can give certain restrictions to and from work. Those kind of things, ASAP, things like that. The second offense is gonna be a little stiffer if he's convicted.
Is it a refusal to take the breathalyzers and as.
It's class one license.
In Virginia, we have implied consent law. So by having a driver's license, you imply your consent.
And he hit another car,
He did.
is there a charge for that?
Well, that's all encompassing in the, I think that was a charge with reckless driving, eluding the police, DUI refusal, all of that was encompassing in the charges. No one was injured, thankfully, no one was injured.
That, when that happens, I mean, that's a threat to the community, it's a threat to anybody, any child, and anybody along the road, anywhere. That's. And thank you for that update. I mean, we know little people out there, but we also need to protect us with our towns and thank you for saying that.
The pursuit, all of the offense, the pursuit and everything is reviewed by our minister. No policy violations, only officers are. Thankfully, no like that, but it's fresh. Let's see, the other DUI was that the other one was in 600 block out on the road. The suspects had fled the scene prior to our arrest. That investigation was turned back over to the CPD as well. The elderly female, I think I reported out on that female last month as well. She wandered off from home again this past month. Picked her up, she'd actually crossed the street this time. Wow, we're doing work. So, work with Region 10, took her up to UVA Hospital. They ended up keeping her up there on PCO, TBO. I think the family's done some other things for, trying to get her in a more structured living environment. So I don't know if she's up there on the street anymore. I think she's someplace else. Hopefully a little bit more safer about it. Let's see, the suspect in the $15 or almost $15,000 jail investment. That female was actually arrested on that charge and brought her into the police department, read her rights, and she confessed to the whole thing. Rose was the biggest culprit as to why she was taking all that money from the store. Easiest confession in 30 years, 35 years that I've ever got in my life. Mike,
She was ready.
I read her rights and she's like, yeah, I did it. Okay, why did you do it? Just take it out. She said that stuff make you do stupid stuff. So anyway, easiest confession I did. Community engagements, as the mayor said, we had National Night Out over for the Girls Club. It was a very good turnout, good participation. The helicopter ended up getting grounded in Charlottesville. We did have Buckingham that's being off the list between them down. We did have the Fridays on the canal event. And we had to deal with a couple of company publics. No one was arrested. We were able to get everybody a lot of home. We had auxiliary officers, 109.5 hours this past month. You can see the amount of officers that those officers are taking down with other efforts. We did attend a meeting here at Victory Hall with Elizabeth and some other our town folks with the deputy county executive and the emergency management coordinator here. We attended the 4th of July action meeting here at Victory Hall. We did attend a retirement ceremony for one of the lieutenants at Alamo PD. The drone replacement grant has been fulfilled. They have sent the town or reimbursed the town back their $20,319.15 for the purchase of the drone. So that money has been sent back to the town. I did submit the paperwork for the 599 grant funds. That has been approved. So the town will be getting that $16,800 for 4 quarters for the fiscal year. I did put in and apply for the flood safety grant, camera grants through the state police. It was approved. I guess when we get to that point within March and April, we'll have to decision on whether or not we're going to continue that program for the town. What we're going to disregard. Yeah, so that's what we might have.
Chief, I was gonna say, especially thank you for your pursuit of the excellence in what you do and getting the support of officers who volunteer time, these grants, trying to be on top of both what you shared also about caring for people in terms of the lady you mentioned. We want to have a police force that both supports the law, but also is reasonable and working with citizens and trying to be helpful and providing a safe place. So it's,
I think if you recall when Meredith was on council, that was one of her, I guess, major priorities for me as the police chief in the town is mental health resources for folks in town. And fortunately, we were able to do a lot of things with UVA and some of their programs up there. So it's really worked out very well with Region 10 and things like that. So great resource. We were able to truly help some of the folks in the town that, or not necessarily in the town, folks that come through the town and end up here.
well, I think that most of what I'm trying to say, that for all of us, we're thankful because most of the time, everybody knows when bad things happen. Rarely people know the good things that happen, but you're talking about a lot of good things that are happening to both protect people, to be proactive, and then also to respond to situations that would otherwise could be much worse. And again, I was out today. I saw two situations with people that were, I was busy with my own life, but when I went back and explained it to my wife, I thought they might be people in need, you know, in terms of you run across and see what I might categorize as somebody who appears to be difficult in certain things in the public area. They may be somebody who has their own issues that need help. And that's good that you're out there doing that.
Well, other resources, it'd be really hard to kind of keep it level instead of these people getting into major trouble that they could avoid. The mental health starts to really help.
That really happens. I will tell you, none we have those new abuse with UVA. You know, most of the time if it's a voluntary committal or if it's a person that's non-violent that needs mental health or in mental health crisis, then we can typically drop it up where it was taking us multiple shifts sitting with someone at the hospital before they actually got to see someone at the hospital. So it's really helped us out tremendously. So the only other thing I had for you guys was they're going to be starting to do water main pipe replacement in the coming month. Well, it's actually going to come down from what I understand. I've been talking with Albemarle Water, the water authority from Albemarle.
Albemarle Service Authority.
Albemarle Water.
Albemarle Service Authority.
So it's going to come down. It's going to come down Irish Road and then come straight down Valley Street and then back up West Main Street.
Oh,
Is where it's going to go. So there's going to be a lot of impact to the town when that happens. They told me the bids are already going out. I think they've picked someone. They just don't have to start picking.
It was actually, I think it's supposed to be started last December.
Yeah.
That's right. That went for some reason.
It's going to hardware, did they already take care of
That's,
that?
that was, how many years ago they asked you to do that were allowed with hardware? Been a while.
I don't remember. Oh, well, then this was a different thing, I got something in the mail about them doing it up on hardware, but I never did that.
From the stamp from.
So once
That's a
that-
long time ago.
Once all the pipes are
Yeah.
replaced,
I
all
thought
of
this
the
was,
piping is replaced, I do believe VDOT has a plan to come and repay.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
so
so
that'd be nice.
some of the, it'll be a big improvement, just like.
I've been talking with John Anderson with Albemarle County Service Authority. And, he's, I guess, their senior civil engineer regarding this project. He wants to come down and actually meet with town council. I believe on the next meeting that we have, I think it's the 24th. He was supposed to come today, but he, postponed it to, next week. He's going to provide a thumb drive that has the project. We were going to get together tomorrow, but tomorrow they open bids for this project, and it's called Scottsville Phase 4A Water Main Replacement Project. So
Elizabeth Irish Road down there.
in this particular email, no, it doesn't, but he does want to come down and address town council and answer any questions that you all may have.
I know they did find that, so they were losing 35 to 40,000 gallons of water per day in the town. And they finally narrowed it to a pipe that was leaking at Page and West Main Street. So they dug that section up, put a band on it, tightened it down. That's why all that water was standing down in the lot of the girls' club, how bad it was down there. And they kept trying to check all the different places, cut water on, cut water off, but anyway, it does seem like last week they found that leak down there at Page and West Main. The water in the girls and boys and girls club parking lots is dry right now.
Hope that's not why my bill went way up.
Well, the way he explained it, Molly, was, let's say 100,000 gallons, they were able to account for water meters that are being used by folks in the town.
Yeah.
But there was $40,000 of gallons of water that could be attributed to any one. And they knew it had to be a leak somewhere.
You all have individual meters and you're only charged for the water that you use and flows through that particular individual meter.
That's-
I do know
they
that,
isolated it and finally I think they figured it out. I think there might be, is that a water leak up by your place? The
Yeah,
house next to you?
yeah. But
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I don't know what that is. There should be a water line right there.
There's a leak
I
there.
don't.
Every time. I pointed out the other day.
Yeah, but I don't know what that's from.
You don't-
I don't,
I think it's on that house construction thing.
no.
Oh,
So
There's I can't speak to it. I know it's from my house, but it's in the ditch there, so it's not coming down to my house.
Okay.
I don't
in
think,
the road, in the road.
I don't know, I don't know where the water line is. I know there's one that comes down Clemens. Cause there's a manhole right there.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a hydrant on Clemens and a manhole, I'll see them out there.
That's
But I don't think that's a water leak. I mean, it shouldn't be.
There's a new leak in front of your house. I'm just out your house, but it's, I see it. I just saw it.
But I don't know what the water line had to be. It's not coming out of anything. My bill was like, it's not a leak on my house or the sprinkler system. So you go.
The church meter is right there on the property.
Yeah.
Volunteers,
Yeah.
so I guess the main line must run right there at this, some don't close it.
Well, that's the only other water spot besides the Boys and Girls Club that I've seen.
Yeah.
Once they isolated that one has seemed to pop up within the last couple of weeks. I've seen it there.
Yeah. I wonder if it, I don't.
Anyway, when the water authority comes back down, I'll make sure I point it out to them and they can kind of maybe hopefully investigate that.
Appreciate
I
that.
got it. Oh,
yeah.
above the water pumps. But they're gonna meet with us, so they're gonna come up with a schedule. How they're gonna do it, but the reason I'm asking, brought up by someone last year, about making sure when they do it. And we work with the businesses, like you don't want to be working in this, a funeral, for example, or, you know, let. So if there's, you know, restaurants going on, or church or whatever, so we work around the schedules. For that, you know. So I think that they can have somebody kind of coordinate that.
Okay,
Business district, particularly.
I mean, a good question for you to have, Mr. Anderson, who's here.
Yeah.
Under some process that gas,
They claimed,
so basically, a lot of times their job there, they have to follow these rules. So therefore, if you're doing any type of work on the basis of the sunset, I'm thinking about drop 55 point, if they don't do it 20 hours, but it would have to be. In most places, you can't start until 9 p.m. at night, that's even about 5:30 morning. On the drawbacks is, you make them work at night, make it work at night, you just got things that it's not gonna be a win-win situation for anybody. But, I seriously doubt that they would be doing that in the middle of the day. But, they are required to reach out to the local, fire and police department and let them know what road closures be, that way there's an emergency.
Mr. Anderson explained all that, how they had it scheduled so it'd be the least disruption as possible. They of course presented this a couple of years ago, so now's a good time, this month the council meeting, to update that and report on. And what's gonna happen when. So, moving on, our fire chief has.
I have a question for the chief.
Okay.
Do you have? Thank you. First of all, I wanted to make a comment that I do see a lot of traffic stops on Valley Street. I don't know whether those are mostly, speeding violations or. I wanted to ask you about the, noise ordinance. Have you had any success with that?
I've done some educating with it, haven't had to charge anyone. Really hoping that we can get the ordinance codified and what is it, unit,
Muni code.
so we can get it published. But we have not had to charge them.
That's not the right thing. We should.
That's good.
Publish it.
I'm putting the word out though,
You just have to
people
put it-
that, you know, I don't need it, I would be charged as long as they know we're looking out to that.
The muni code will actually make it public.
Yeah,
Just call them
Right now, it's not.
and just keep saying.
yeah, I went and
You
asked
said
about
that,
that,
but I've
but
been
you
like-
weren't here.
That's the only way you can forget it.
Here, so,
It's not that.
but I'm glad now they know what you're talking
Well, Actually,
Not just the-
geez, yeah, I see. That's-
about.
Our fire chief had a
Right.
report. Meeting that show to the light. Fire.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The fire department bringing in 60 calls month of July. It's a significant increase. But typically the dangerous road drive condition for June 1. Participated in the National Night Out, made contact with about 35 kids for the range children event. We had 2 significant calls, one Chief Jenkins just talked about that the cemetery, are through 8 more members for in that intersection, about 45. Traveling back towards fire, so we're setting up the parade. We made it to the other end of Junior Road when the accident occurred. So we had just cleared that intersection, thank goodness, was injured. And also we had a water rescue, which the police department's drone was able to go upriver and locate the patient and hover over the young lady until we could get there. So
That's great.
they got.
Are you able to conversate? So they can hear you and you can. That's
Oh,
great.
on the drone?
It's got a speaker on. That thing was pretty cool. We were July 4th, we actually had our command post at the police department who had video link up there to the command trail at the fire station. And when they went out, had a very difficult time with communication because she was on the river, right?
No phone service.
Right.
I'm sure it's on the other side.
Kind of had an idea about where she was at. Flew that drone up the river with the video and found her and the person that were trying to call, found her laying there on a rock. the bank was really steep, couldn't see from the shore. We had a couple of our officers down there looking for it with that drone, was able to go to the river, locate her, and hover there until where it was.
Is this the major that you got?
Oh, that's that works.
That's sweet.
Well, the sweet was a lot.
Department also participated in July, and yeah, July's Friday on Canal. It's a huge success.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did you attend?
No,
Oh, that's too bad.
Any other questions for Mr. Carter? You know, we all appreciate everything, both of you guys do. Let's get it on up. Mr. Bowling, good evening.
Hi, how are you all tonight?
You got anything you want to talk to us about?
A couple matters. I'll just tell you briefly what I did this month. I helped with the bookkeeping contract. Has that been signed yet by the municipal?
Yes, and she's already working.
Great, great. That's exciting, and that should help the town administrator tremendously. But that's good to hear. You saw a letter I wrote to you and also reviewed the Elizabeth FOIA requirements for minutes, and I won't repeat my email to you, but I think it's pretty clear that's what you're supposed to be doing that, and I don't see any way you can get out of doing it if you want to. I also talked about meeting protocol, that is adding agenda items which haven't been advertised on the agenda. And there's a protocol for doing that, but can be done. It's not to be encouraged, but sometimes because of the press of business, you have to do it. And I hope that was clear to you. If not, just ask me any questions and I'll try to answer them.
That just means you need to get it in before Wednesday kind of thing.
No, I didn't say that. This was something that had to be enacted after the agenda is published.
Okay.
Remember? And I mean, I realize sometimes I drone on, but not to use the word drone, chief, but basically, there is a procedure you can go through because of a pressing matter, even though the agenda is not, it hasn't been advertised on the agenda. Because of pressing matters, you can bring it forward. And I explained how to do that if you wanted to do it.
Is there a definition for pressing matter?
Pardon me?
Is there a definition for pressing matter?
Well, it's kind of like, well, you know it when you see it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it has to be, seriously, it has to be something that's.
Well, it's an oversight, if we did about it, what was mentioned and it didn't get on there, it was an accident.
Well, I mean, that may be something, is it have to be done? That's the issue. Or can you put it off until the next week and advertise it properly? But read that letter again. If you have any questions, Bill, give me a call and I'll try to answer them.
Thank you for doing this.
I wrote some opinions to Elizabeth on situs for taxation, for meals tax and for business license tax, which is pretty complicated, really. You know, it's what's taxable and what isn't in various and sundry situations for the farmers market that's applicable here. And
And now the Fridays on the canal is, well, I was asking that because we bring in vendors.
right, they come from everywhere, where they prepare the food and if they tax with the food somewhere else, they double tax and on and on and on and on. And then I'll bring up again, because I'm getting ready to send you another email on this dead horse I've been beating about monthly financial reports. And your charter has a provision in it, and I think I finally figured out that monthly financial reports were in place before I got here. They've been going on for a long time. But basically, you've got a charter provision, section 5.8, which says that you'll have the treasurer shall report to the town council monthly on the status of the books. But then equally as important, the General Assembly, and now understand that charters are not something the town enacts. That's enacted by the General Assembly. The town can request a charter provision be enacted, but the charter itself is legislation adopted by the General Assembly. And it says that one of the requirements, other than the monthly report, is that you're required to have an audit committee, and that audit committee is supposed to audit the financial affairs of the town each month and look at the vouchers and make sure that the money was expended properly. And
Well, I can't even imagine.
you don't have an audit committee, but what you have been doing, What-
Requests.
what you have been doing for at least for as long as I can remember, as long as I've been here, is you've been having monthly financial reports, which serve the same purpose because they show the expenditures, what revenue came in for that month and what money came out and what it's for. And that really is satisfying that charter provision, in my opinion. But I'll write you.
But we can, as a town council, request other reports, correct? Or not?
Of course you can.
What?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that.
Well, the profit loss statement, is that a financial report, is that just, I mean, sometimes that's so confusing and I don't understand what a profit loss statement is.
Well, you don't have to do, I mean, the reports that I've seen for years and years and years were understandable.
They basically just.
Yeah, I just want to be really comprehensible.
Yeah, just something that shows you what money came in for the month, what the current balance is and what expenditures occurred.
Yeah.
And what, and then what the net balance of the checkbook is each month after that.
Mhm.
It just tells you what's going on,
Not in that.
kind of important.
Yeah.
But in addition, you've been mandated by the General Assembly to do it. Or you can set up an audit committee, appoint members of the audit committee and do the same thing through a committee structure.
No,
That's what's proposed, but that's hard to do, people be on committee.
do we just leave it up to chance that they are financial reports, I think probably a lot of those. Are these just, have you looked, I mean, does the town code have any information about what reports?
But you've been doing, the town council's been,
Not town, I'm sorry, state.
town council's been receiving these financial reports for 15 years at least, each month.
Okay,
There are plenty of examples of what you've received before.
before they were receiving, please tell me if I'm wrong. You've received those reports that give you what has happened in the past, what's happened currently, details about the expenditures and things of that nature. We're not getting that.
Well, I saw one that's quarterly. You're not getting a monthly report. And to be fair to Elizabeth, she had a difficult situation that she came into and inherited, and she just now has found a person that's a bookkeeper that may be able to do some of that work.
So,
Actually, I have provided both a profit and loss statement and a balance sheet report as of April 13th, 2026.
that
So,
sounds great. That doesn't give me the information I was looking for, and certainly would have been, the reports I'm talking about would have been helpful during the budget process, so that we knew what kind of expenses had been going on the year before, or year to date, that the year of 25.
Well, I'll lay all this out in what the charter says and give you my 2 cents worth.
If you have an example of what it's supposed to look like, or maybe one even from the.
I'll send one from the old days.
Send one to the old one, yeah, it's hard to find those, we don't
or
go.
they're on the town website under minutes. There's all sorts of documents on there of previous.
Send us one that.
It's on the website, Mr. Heisen.
Website.
It's under minutes.
It's which.
And you have to.
I'll send you one.
Send me one, we have some that, I hope they're more than a loss statement,
Well, evidently.
like what they used to do, I think they might be more clear.
Hey, anything else going?
That's it.
All right, moving on. Now, administrator's report, if there's something you're gonna cover later down the road, just wait till then, cover that, if it's something that's not going to be covered, meeting, what's happening?
Right. I would like to read a message from Whitney. She sent to me today. Dearest Mr. Mayor and members of council, please accept my sincerest apologies for my absence at tonight's meeting. My husband fell last Monday. He experienced extensive injuries, including skull and orbital fractures and brain bleeding.
Oh, man.
He's been in intensive care for a week now. During this time, I've been alternating time with him at the hospital and then time at home with our daughter. He is making small improvements every day, and I'm hopeful he will make a full recovery. I'm not sure how long this will take. I'm fully committed to my job as town clerk of Scottsville. I intend to return to my position as soon as possible. In the meantime, I appreciate your patience and flexibility. Sincerely, Whitney Wade.
And we send you something, I don't know.
The town administrator and I had a conversation this afternoon, and we're gonna approach it. Yes, you know, if he's got the time sitting in the hospital, just sitting, we'll send her stuff that she can do and send it back to us, so she can continue keeping up on her responsibilities, but it is a serious situation, and
I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
More work, the problem starts.
It's not what you want to.
More work.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you wanna go ahead with your report then?
Well, to address what, Mr. Bissett just offered, do you all want to send like a gift basket or something like that?
Yeah. That'd be great.
Okay.
I'm very sorry to hear about.
We have been, over there a couple times to see, Whitney. And she's very thankful that, you know, she has the support of us. He's at UVA. They can't, you know, have any visitors or anything like that, but he's been in and out of awareness, I should say. So. Okay, so, my administrator's report and treasury, the first thing, plan for replacing the town signs. I'm gonna let, Alex talk about that. He and I met, I think the day after we had a meeting last week. Just to, also let you know, I had heard from, Joe Giles Signs that is in Farmville. That is who I reached out to before and provided photographs. And they sent me an email on Tuesday and said they'd be in touch soon. I called them back today to see if they had any information, and I didn't get anybody on the phone. I also reached out to the owner of Structural Steel, which is, you know, his company is the one that one of the workers ran over the sign near the bank. I did not get in touch with them either. But anyway, you want to talk, Mr. Bissett?
Yeah, so I talked to the sign, I think it was Buckingham ones and started knocked down, but those posters really rotted out by the bank, I pushed them over. And then I went down here, that one's only standing up because it's leaning against the tree, it's also rotted out, so I have to do posts and everything like that. I asked Elizabeth to reach out to his utility, and then also talk to the property owners. I'm not sure what the deal is there, it looks like it's on private property down here. And it looks like it's on bank property up here, so before I start digging in the ground, I'll make sure that's all cleared up. And then it's just design, so. If we want to decide on something or submit designs, I was thinking just a 8x8, a 6x6, and a 4x4, kind of just
They're
yeah.
not thinking of replacing the signs, what they look like now.
The actual wording, no, we have two that are good.
No, not the word, but I mean, the slate and the timbers.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm not open to anything.
I don't cheap with signs, but I know they might be difficult, but I think they're classic.
Oh,
I don't want some just, you know, cheap old metal things, you know, see, something that feels, I could be up to something.
So I was planning on reusing those slate signs and then just doing some sort of post. If you want to do like a little fence or something off the side of them, that's fine as well. So I didn't want to pick anything. If you guys have any ideas you want to use.
I don't know if these signs fall under the same thing, but a lot of signs and stuff that have been put on the side of a roadway is required to be some type of breakaway tax or whatever. So if we put something very sturdy like timbers and stuff, and if it does significant damage to a vehicle, whether the vehicle is fault or not. The way, persons to sit there and say, you know, I've known people get in trouble in the past for putting, steel posts or concrete bases for the mailbox. Car hit that significant damage to our car, the property owner is actually responsible for, fixing the car. So we might want to make sure
That's a
that.
good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'll reach out to VDOT.
Both ways, but I'm gonna figure out, with call him.
Let's do
That
it.
would be something to check into, so even if you do temple with the weight. Put it back up, you
I'll
know.
probably still,
Oh, you know, it's late then, yeah,
I'll pour concrete and put a metal bracket in, that'll be great.
slide it down and put it back out, yeah.
Thank you. I'll
But
check with
as far
VDOT.
as design, anything, just, if you're gonna say something, I'll try to make it budget friendly.
Well, I will say that I trust your judgment when you're talking about doing a tier type thing. I think that's something,
Like the old one,
yeah,
it's gonna be squares that are round.
yeah,
They're supposed to not.
You have a ballpark of
thank
the
you.
cost,
Bring us back all the information you can, and we'll make it soon.
you have a ballpark of the cost of these vehicles.
What I just said would probably be $200.
No.
That's not my fancy.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think we need to go with Scottsville first, do one thing,
Oh, also-
and do that another time.
Where is it was priority for science replacement? I would guess the one by the bank.
Yeah, the back
Yeah.
first, that's.
Always thought that was gonna be off one way, yeah.
I'm sure it is, but I want to check before this.
I know, I don't know how far it is.
That's great.
Okay. So we, as just mentioned by, Mr. Bowling, we have a new bookkeeper. She is working on the reconciliation of the town books. Her name's Meredith Roth. The company is Meredith Roth Bookkeeping. She is local. I said in this note, she's a local accountant. I don't believe she's an accountant, but anyway, she is local. She does QuickBooks. That's how I found her, through the QuickBooks website. Anyway, Mr. Bowling was very helpful. We went back and forth with a contract with her. I produced a scope of work, things that we wanted done. She is starting from, I was able to provide her the last audit that was done in 2024. So she's working from that point forward to do the reconciliation. Again, you know, we're coming up against lots of transactions that we don't know what they are. But anyway, we're working on that.
Will she be available to come to our meetings like that? Lay down the road, you know,
Um,
ask questions if you don't understand.
I don't know. I haven't asked her that. She has looked into different courses maybe that Whitney and I could take to get us more familiar with the system there. Number 3, the federal and state grant compliance. Earlier this last month and mid to last month, I became aware of 2 grants that we've received documentation from. The first one is from the Department of Housing and Community Development. That's a Virginia grant, and this was for $40,000 award that the town apparently was awarded several years ago. None of the required yearly reports since 2023 have been documented. So the mayor and I met with, they basically sent us a document and said, this is due, you all owe $40,000. And so I wrote them and I said, well, actually, a previous email said that I needed the document before July 31st, and it's not quite July 31st. So can you please give us some grace? And I asked for a meeting. And so the mayor came and we spoke with her, and they did agree to give us more time. And so they're giving us until the end of August. they are not making us go back and produce the reports that were due in the previous years. If I just come up with the final report, they will accept that if it has all the information that they're looking for. And this particular grant was the one that, and you all probably know more about it than I do, the
Small business, that one that we got in small business.
I have all the pictures of the checks.
Yeah.
Did you want them?
So that's that grant. So we have to, close that out. So I've been working on going back through information. For example, I have to find payroll that what Matt Lawless and what the staff was being paid back then and work forward and then find out how much money these different companies, what they spent. Anyway, so I think she was pretty clear in her explanation. So I feel like that one is good to go. It's just going to take some time for me to find the documentation, go through it. The other one is a lot more daunting. This is a federal grant, the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act, through the Department of Treasury. And this one we were notified. We got information from, I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now, who sent it to us, but it was an email. Apparently that Matt Lawless received a grant, or the town received a grant for $517,515. And this one also is lacking in compliance with the necessary reports that were due on a yearly basis. So this one, I have not had so much luck getting in touch with the people that can share with me what this information is. I know Whitney has participated in 2 live sessions on trying to figure out, because I just wanted even the contract. I wanted to know what the town received because I'd asked Mr. Bowling, I was like, I don't even know where to start to find this, and he suggested that I look in the previous financial statements, which I did, but I was looking for a total amount of 517,000, didn't find anything. So now it's been suggested that I look for smaller amounts and see if I can get it to add up to 517,000 and figure out where this money went to.
Elizabeth, I remember too, I suggested that you strongly encourage you to call Matt Lawless. Since this was,
I tried.
this was,
I don't know how to get the
Yeah.
well, he's a public official where he was up in Vermont.
Yeah.
And I call it, it's not COVID money, but it was the emergency money that came in for a whole bunch of places at
Right.
that period in time. And there should be a file on it, and it should, you didn't pocket the money, and it was all spent. And if I remember also, that was the amount of money that came in that kept you out of the running in the red that particular year substantially.
Yeah, but then you kept budgeting.
Well, and you got, of course, that's right. It was,
That's tough.
had its drawback, but in any event, the materials, the money wasn't spent improperly, but it's a matter of tracking it down. He should be able to help tell what happened with that money. But essentially, it was, my memory, Mayor, was it was folded into the budget. Essentially, it supplemented the budget.
Sheets for those years and latter part of COVID, you'll see it
Yeah,
right there.
it's
And I-
21 we're talking about, is that right? 2020,
We got the CARES money first, and then a little later, we got the ARPA money.
that's right.
Yeah, so I'm trying to tease out what the CARES is and what ARPA is and what the tire factory project was because of the wetland delineation and the project that was done down there. I'm not sure for which it was done, for the CARES project or the ARPA, but that engineering company is also asking for their money. They've never been paid, and the town owes them like $30,000. So I think it's a grant that once that's figured out, then perhaps if we submit it, then the federal government, I don't know if they pay us and then we pay them, or whether that's $30,000 that the town's just going to have to pay. But apparently it's from the tire factory project that was many years ago.
Did you I mean, obviously you did, but just in case, did you check in this file cabinet in here, in this in between? As there were.
Right, I did find some of that information. Yeah, I found like 4 or 5 folders.
Okay.
So,
Good.
yeah, it's a start. All right, so then VRS, I've continued to work with them on trying to get the documentation set up properly that matches what VRS requirements are. And then the other issue, I'm sorry.
I didn't understand what you were talking about with BRS. Did this have to do with the funding?
No. Second, I mean, number 4. Not regarding the grants.
Did that already be, had been taken care of?
What's that?
The VRS money
Well, the VRS is,
withheld from people's checks.
it's not completely finished yet.
Okay.
So, I met with Stephanie.
Preparations for that kind of thing, or is it just a flat?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I'll leave you to it.
Anyway, I just met with Stephanie, Pointer or Connor last week, regarding the VRS. So it's an ongoing, task. And then, lastly, the town phone lines, they were disconnected last Wednesday. If anyone has tried to call here or told you that they've tried to call and can't get in touch with us. You know, I think I shared with you all with Lumen, that previous contract that we had 22 phone lines that the town was paying for. And I've been trying for, I think, 8 months now to get a remedy for this. And recently they finally agreed to disconnect some of the phone lines. And so both the police department and I were provided a list of telephone numbers, and we were asked to check and make sure that those telephone numbers weren't numbers that were on the disconnect list, which the police department checked theirs, and none of their numbers that they need were on the disconnect list. I know Chief Jenkins, and then working with John Ball, they did that. We checked ours, no lines. So I said, yes, go ahead and go with the disconnect. So then we get disconnected, and I don't know whether it was a blanket disconnect. I believe that it was, but we have no phone lines. And I have been really trying to run this down and get some resolution. As of today, I spoke with, and I have it in email too, a person was, our new account manager was saying that he thinks that we can just drop the phone lines altogether. And he suggested that we get phone line, the same voice over internet protocol phone lines from a different company. He said as of July of this year, Lumen does not sell additional phone lines to companies. So that's one thing that I've been trying to do for 8 or 9 months, is to disconnect or not have their phone service, because it's so outrageously expensive, and I think it's really unnecessary. And I've asked over and over and had multiple conference calls with them, including the chief and John Ball. And each time they basically say, no, you're under contract. You can't get rid of the phone lines. But today the guy's like, oh yeah, I think you can do that without any disconnect fees. So I was telling the chief earlier, I was like, great. I have it in email that he says that. So maybe that's true, and we can disconnect all the phone
Well,
lines.
it's true.
And, yeah, but you know,
It's not.
the guy did say he was new. So, yeah.
That doesn't matter. He's your account representative, right?
So yes. So it may be that we are changing our phone number. I think I'd mentioned this months ago that, you know, if we have cell phones or we have one phone line that comes into here, I think that's sufficient. I don't think that we need all the the voice over internet protocol of call forwarding and, you know, this and that. I think we just need one phone line or whatever the requirement is.
Have a separate phone line for, say, the mayor?
Would we have this? Well,
Yeah,
it's up to the mayor.
well, I mean, not to bring up social media a whole lot, but I have seen people say when they do call some number that's tied to the mayor, they get Nancy Gilfield's voice instead of.
Because she got a good sounding voice.
So I mean, at some point, there were other lines coming in to the other people in the office, do one phone line.
And they basically.
There's no one here to answer it.
Right. Yeah,
That's-
but that's a different line than the town line.
Yeah.
And what, chief, what do you have to have down at your, what do the police have to have, voice over internet or?
I think did we get rid of that part of it? I think we've got one phone line down there and then the internet.
Okay.
Is there a phone line at the pump station?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But that's through Brightspeed, and it's my understanding that we have two phone lines through Brightspeed, and they're the old copper POTS line. And one of them is to this elevator out here, and the other one is to the pump station. But that's very expensive. I think it's $90 a line, something
That's
similar.
what we spent, gosh, I mean, countless hours on the phone, or not on the phone, but a Teams meeting with Lilly staff and town staff, police department staff. And that's why I had John Ball on to make sure we weren't cutting off internet accesses and things like that.
Yeah.
Because
And then they would touch upon things.
they don't, so these numbers don't always correlate with the line, number, right? So you don't know exactly unless you know someone that understands that IT jargon. And that's, we really did look at it and we were set, and then they shut it down here, like, world.
One thing you can do is call the State Corporation Commission has a regulatory, one of the organization which regulates telephone companies, and that'll get them excited.
I would tell them about
Yeah.
women, because they
Yeah.
don't sound like they're,
That doesn't sound
Reasonable
right,
at all.
what kind of advice they're giving.
yeah.
Well, luckily I have it all in writing, so
That'll get them very, very excited. That is a fun.
Sorry, the pump house. We need a phone line down there for the pump system.
right.
But if there's cheaper alternatives, I don't care what phone lines down there, as long as you have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have internet down there, so we can pull up the river.
I don't want to be insensitive to Whitney, but will you have some help while she's gone?
I talked to Kathy, the farmer's market manager, and she may stop by tomorrow and we're gonna talk. I did reach out to her today.
Okay.
I know,
I imagine that gets worse when she's gone.
yeah. And during our rain event earlier today, when Jam was inside, I had him scanning bank statements to send to the new accountant. So it feels like all hands on deck trying to get some of this information. But my priorities right now are really those two grants because it's a lot of money that's at stake.
So you don't know the premise of that larger grant? You don't know what it was for, like, was it to?
The federal government gave a huge amount of money to many towns,
Okay. so-
cities and counties throughout the United States during that time to get us over that epidemic.
Yeah, well,
There wasn't earmarked. I mean, it was my memory, and Mary, you correct me, or Miss Gill's here too, she can help. It wasn't earmarked for like grants for police car or something like that. It was kind of emergency relief to deal with the pandemic.
and so when he left, those reports just stopped.
Well, he should know where they are. He knows about them. Yeah, if he has my understanding is he has a responsible position.
Well,
Right, but the documents are probably here.
Well, he will know what's what.
Well, I mean, I know that there are, you know, external hard drives full of stuff and, you know, there's some paper and all of that. I would hope that he kept records, but I'm not for sure.
I think, some of that money was used on floodplain study,
I did find a folder on that.
air condition had to be replaced here.
Okay, I did not know that.
$27,000-$28,000 kiosk,
Yeah.
28. Box down the boat
Yeah,
ramp.
not
One of the other things that happened during that time period was the whole thing with the post office. And all that we did with that project, and some of it was.
What's
DMV
that?
as well.
I'm sorry, the DMV,
Okay, yeah.
the DMV, and the DMV turned out to be not
Gotcha.
viable, so.
But that took a large amount of money too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, so.
I've forgotten that.
And they also had a downstairs, they had a workstation down there for a couple months. Bring a computer, you could work down there. And that was a new thing.
But that was through the CARES Act, that was.
That's there.
Yeah. Can't imagine that you'd have to put out any money for that, but it does, other than there's Wi-Fi, right?
Okay, well, that's all I have.
Any reports from the ARB, Land Commission Park? ARB?
No, we had the COAs for use, we didn't have a meeting, but if someone is where people would like to serve at the ARB, we need to fill this position for an architect and as our member. They would not be residents of the town.
I mean, I'm sure I spoke to the gentleman that's reading all the way to the place down here, it's for the cafe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, one in there today. Yeah.
We explained the young process and went through the ARB.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
so we haven't seen anything about it's like an inside renovation. So forth.
Yeah, we met with him today and he left, I guess stickers or, mock-ups of what signs would look like.
Okay.
And so we told him that he would have to come before the ARB. And then he was talking about the, painting the exterior. So we also, told him you have to go to ARB, for that as well. So I told him that he had to, he should look at either Sherwin-Williams historic colors or Benjamin Moore historic color palettes. So he's aware of that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any commission?
I don't know the status at this point. Do you have anything that you wanted to share?
We are, so with the comp plan, we had 4 limits. And Lincoln has been working through those 4 limits and he's almost done. And also we have 2 planning commissioners that will proofread the final document. And then it will come to you, hopefully by the next public session.
Do we have to vote again on it or is it the amendments?
No, you have to have a whole new process. So public hearing and all that sort of stuff. And if you change anything in it has to come back to planning commission.
Yeah, that would be if town council decided to make any
Right.
adjustments. Okay.
Thank you.
What about the award?
Pardon?
Did the town get the award?
Yeah, but I'm starting a new job soon, and it's because I had a wonderful interview on the day of the trip to Danville. And I'm very, very bummed that I missed it, but I'm very, very glad to have got the job. So it was good being off for a while, but now I'll go make my money.
But yes,
Final
with that,
remarks?
Casey and I went down and accepted the award and did a presentation.
Yeah, we had a meeting Tuesday, and I was gonna send the minutes out today, but internet went down with the storm. I'll send, I know we don't have to do minutes, but I think it's a good idea to do that, in fact, I think we should do that. it's not required. But, I can't remember everything we went over, but we did go over, Canal Base Square a little bit and about some upgrades for the park. And we're gonna meet again in January, but, I'm sorry, in September, but, I'll send the minutes out as soon as I get my internet back. So we'll do that.
Thank you. Walk the roads. Hey, this is not here tonight.
Well, the fact that the boards committees, because in November, we passed a new committee, emergency service committee. And I think it exists, but I have never seen it on the web. I've never seen who the members are. I don't know if they've met. I think it's a vital committee. I think I replaced that other committee, Miss Morse was on. So anyway, I think that if we're gonna have it, maybe we ought to have some sort of, maybe not minutes, but at least some sort of, notification on the website or to, let the public know that we have a special committee for that, and they could be reported on something. In fact, are you on that committee? Do you guys meet? Do you have members? Can we get those and just have the website so? You just, okay, you send us.
I'll send you.
Don't tell me, but send it, tell us, and get that up there, because I think that's important that people know that we have a special committee for emergency services, okay? And also, I think they need a description.
Look at the, couple of months ago, and I was making a comment that the town council approved it, but I know it, and was also in the way where I myself and for the president, and look at the talk about the meeting event.
Great.
So a lot of that falls under the flood, the new emergency action plan, which are updated and revised.
Well, that's good, but I think we need a description of what that committee is all about, so a lot of people don't know about it, it's kind of good.
When I, interrupt for just a brief, it's my understanding that Townsend has to, leave early. So I would like to, can we come back to that?
But I would like to go into closed session so he can be part of this meeting. And
Got another closed session.
Can I give it a scan for? Can you just do that? It's gonna take 2 minutes, I'm gonna save your paper, so. No, I'm not gonna do that.
We're gonna try to get together by tomorrow.
Right, but just, marriage with nature have canceled it, so you don't have to worry about water. Yeah, you don't have to worry about.
oh, you know that.
Sorry,
Sorry.
time to read all.
It's,
You just gave us the council's link. Listen,
Yes.
so see, when you refer to documents in your agenda, that really shouldn't have been written at that time.
I understand that.
I know you got a lot of things.
I'm the only one here though, so.
This. And this is.
All right, imagine that. Or you see what's going on.
Are we ready for?
Yes.
All right. I move, that the Scottsville Town Council convene the closed session to Virginia Code 2.2-3711-8 for consultation of legal counsel employed or retained by the town regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice and if applicable 2.2-3711-A7 consultation of legal counsel regarding actual problem litigation. Specifically for the family legal advice regarding pledge to meals tax owed by specific local businesses, including tax liability information that is confidential under Virginia Code 58.1-3.
Okay.
Second.
Oh.
Favor. We're in closed session.
I'm sorry, who second? Yes. Okay, we're recording.
Thank you.
I move that the town council certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, only business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in a closed session.
Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor? Come back to the town administrator, we want to cover the old business, we covered a couple of things already. First two. We did discuss. Open the signs, it's about that, the board, so it's first. Any other comments?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my notes here.
Is there a document anywhere that shows like what Jam is responsible for doing?
Are we talking about that?
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
I think we're talking about old business and that was one of them.
That's, oh, but
Yeah, we made a document a year or two ago, but it
Yeah.
should still be around.
Okay, who would have that? Would
Town
you,
staff, Jam.
Elizabeth,
Yes, ma'am.
would you be able to share that with us or with me?
Yes, I can share it with you all. If I can find that, if not, I have talked to him about, the job duties and responsibilities that I would like him to do.
About what's being done. I just wanna know what is being expected of him, because we may look at the town, be like, this hasn't been done, but he may not have
I
responsibility
think we
for
go
that.
down sources, that document.
yeah, but I think it's been adjusted enough of times.
Okay, well-
They were about that.
Do you mind looking for me? And then-
Yes.
Thank you.
I think he was supposed to keep a schedule and himself at regular. Journal, the journal, I don't know if he did it, just not the journal, does he do a journal? Know what he does every.
I don't know that he journals, no.
Cause I asked a bunch of questions that, I would like to know what, was it? People have told me they rarely see him. And, I know it's at the parking lot. And he's really cut that, in fact, I saw him cut the other day. And I didn't think it needed, I think that he could let that go, but, I would like to see that some other things get done. And, if you provide what he's doing, I think somebody said, why don't the town council come up with a list of things to be done, and,
Right.
okay, so why don't we make that a project for the for work session sometime, what are the priorities? I mean, the other thing is that there's some things, I know he's not a handyman like Alex or something, but I think we need to get a handyman, get some things done that he can't do or doesn't want to do. And anyway, I just think there's
Okay, well, we requested that.
oh, sorry.
So yeah, I would encourage you all to get together and come up with a list of things that you want and then
Yeah.
tell me what.
Yeah.
If we're looking around and some, I'm not really on that,
Oh, yeah,
but I'd like to know.
I've been about for years, but one of the conservative, that last year, maybe last year too. During the winter, he works, till what? He doesn't have to do the bathroom sort of cutting up long after November. And so what?
I wonder if he has projects that was before, let's start.
Well, okay. But I've done years, just they weren't done, so but that was a few years ago, but if those, if you got a list of projects you want to do over the winter, that'd be good, we could weigh in. I do think the lines, the parking lines need to be done, and of course, the fountain and
Yeah, whose
Bruce Park.
responsibility is that a town thing?
But I know that he has in the past painted lines and I believe that I know that I purchased yellow paint at Sherwin-Williams for
Yeah,
him
he's-
to do the curbs.
Yeah,
I'm talking parking lines, like the two parking lots.
And also the parking lot.
And the lines on the street, but that's.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't. In fact, he really wasn't even supposed to paint the curbs on the, yes, on the road. I found out after we took off the paint and I had him out there painting. I
Yeah.
talked to VDOT and, I mean, they didn't get upset, but
Just to clarify something, I think it's fine, and so that you're bringing these up, but. The supervisor is you
yes,
of him, so if we have jobs for him to do. We'll give jobs that she then supervises that.
Absolutely. I was just curious what it was, where the lines are.
Well, the only reason I was asking that is, from having been around a while, there are more than a few occasions where. It starts to happen where he has more boss than one, so to speak. I'm not saying I agree. So just coming back, so I think all you're saying is give me the list.
yes.
Just
Yeah.
give me the stuff.
But yeah, I want a list and you all talk about it and then tell me what you want. No, but what I'm saying is because you might want one thing, Mr. Heisen, you might want another. You know, so.
Talk to Jan in like a year.
So just, you know, everyone has their own desire. So then after we have a list, then we can go through and say, well, okay, are we going to do this one or rate it in priority? Like how much time is it going to take? How much money is it going to take?
Yeah, some of it won't be able to do it. I'll be more than happy to walk around the town, do work, yeah, and I think we've done that in the past, kind of pointing out things. Because not everybody can see everything unless you walk the town and follow along and see what needs to be done, what hasn't been done. People have come to me and I say, write the town, tell them what you want to do. And, you know, there's a lot of things that aren't being done, that could be done, and if, unless you walk the town, you have to see them.
But again,
Right.
I'm gonna say that take those things. And get them to Elizabeth so she can follow up, whatever they are.
Yeah, I haven't been, I haven't sent pictures to.
I mean, so far you've submitted things, but I need to hear I would like to hear from the remaining council members.
Well, maybe we can just make it a project to look through something else he's done.
What you'd like is council to prioritize. what
Right.
they want to do.
Yes.
Not just a huge list.
Right, exactly.
They have to say, here's a 15 things, here's what's number one.
Possibly some ideas of what would cost to do things.
So you're not costing about bar, 6 different methods.
Yes.
Do something.
You can have it.
No, it's all.
It's not.
Well, no, that's a whole other ballgame. That's another thing, but
Get back on track here, or be here all night.
Yeah.
The last item, the whole business.
Dollars donation? Yeah, I just feel like, we need to get this solved or something like this, or either give back our money or just say we don't take donations.
Can't give it back his money.
We
Because he
just
gave- I'm sure he took it off his taxes when he gave it to the town, so
No,
knowing John.
well, then, we,
I don't think it would be bad to pick a project to put
we,
that money
yeah,
towards and
and say,
stuff
this is,
like that.
yeah, I think we need to be done with it, see how much we did spend.
We talked about the town minister, and I talked about the other day, we need some electrical repairs in canal.
That's
I
it,
think that was from that, the electrical repairs,
Yeah.
rather than fix that stupid water fountain.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's
that's.
the good
Now,
one.
it's maybe that, store.
That's the street.
Get a lot of.
Oh,
Okay.
No, we got it.
where is the one time? Oh, $82,000.
I just saying, what you want to use the powers money.
Yeah, but the biggest severity.
The electrical.
Electrical is number one.
Yeah.
If you.
Well, no, I think the water fountain.
Water fountains is
Everybody-
What?
No, it is a waste, we're not spending $1,000 to get that thing fixed.
We need to get some donations.
Nobody wants to drink.
How much money storage, if you get $1,000 in donations, we'll put it back
I
out.
got $5,000 donation. I think water fountains really, this hot weather, I just think it's ridiculous.
Nobody drinks, you carry a water bottle around all the time, nobody comes out of public
Just
fountains.
replace it. Just replace it.
Well, that's valid, but.
Just replace it with a new one. We can't
I
find it.
did with the instructions to take it down.
Well, that's not your decision.
But
So it's not your decision. You don't control those stuff. Yeah, like square. You don't either. I know, but if before you make a decision, I'm not deciding to do. I'm not deciding to take it down, that was my decision.
Point of order.
My
Maybe just
decision is
somebody that wants to do something with the water fountain, put a motion forward next week or next meeting.
Yeah,
We can
let's
just
do
do
that.
that.
Can do that.
I just think we need to take care of people who donate. I also think we need to have some sort of policy.
Well, if somebody makes a donation, doesn't mean you have to spend it all at one time.
No, let
That'd
me
be nice.
finish. I think we need to have a policy about donations. If somebody gets a donation to the town, I think it's all proper and considerate to take care of that donation, and we lost track of it. You know, and I think we need to own that. That's our responsibility. Even the Bruce Park, people complain, he gave a lot of money to Bruce Park, and Bruce Park had a special plants there, and the rock wall, and, you know, this guy was telling me about the Bruce family, felt like they, you know, it hasn't been taken care of. And, you know, even though we don't have committees to do that, I do think we need a liaison committee, and I think we need a financial review committee. And I think we still need to take care of all these functions, even if we don't have committees, we just need to do it at our work session or here. Because we just can't let our town get dilapidated and, you know, things falling apart without taking care of it.
Well, let me just interrupt you. So very nicely before our town administrator asked for a list, get her a list.
I can't go this.
No,
We just said, let me say, okay, you go, then I need
The
to.
reason I'm gonna go with you is you say the same thing every week.
Okay, listen,
I can play this from last week or the week before. She asked something very nicely. And she simply said, let's get a list of the things. I could play you saying that a month ago, 2 months ago,
Last year,
I said ago. And I'm saying to you, we all care about the town.
okay, well, let's get
Care about how it looks. She gave you a way to do that.
Okay, let me just counter that. The list is one thing, actually getting it done. And who's gonna do it, and so leadership and oversight is another thing. You can get a list, but the list just falls on, I can give you the list from last year that wasn't done,
That's the
so.
difference between maintenance and capital.
Right, there is, but we need that, town needs to take responsibility for getting things done. And we can't just let things be dilapidated. That's what I'm saying, and I don't know how to do that. I do think if we had that liaison or the facility management committee, who, and maybe you're the one man person who can do that stuff. But I'll go around with you, we could do that, but we need to start knocking away at these things regularly. So people not coming up and say like, how come it's looking like this, how come this is done, this, you know, we got weeds growing in the street, we got things that need to be done, the bathrooms are not being cleaned, but capital improvement projects are important, and we don't have I do think we need two committees, so maybe I'll put that forward next week. One is to have a facilities management and one to have a financial review committee. Because we can't do everything in town council, we could have these long meetings and just say, well, let's just come up with a list, but let's not do it, let's just come up with a list, that's not fixing things, we need to fix things.
Well, the choice has to be the town council. It's not just a list of that you see. Everyone has to
I agree,
have some input.
Make motions in this meeting and I know
I
that.
agree,
So we'll talk about
I
it.
agree, but I would like to see this town really flourish and look nice and real sharp. And Canal Mesa Square might be a separate matter because it probably costs some money. But there's other parts we could fix, and we'll go all around the town, we'll get a list of things, and maybe we could present them to the town council. Not just a list, but how to do that, how to about that. Okay.
All right, you wanna get into new business?
It's quarter to midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be moving.
Oh, we could be on that one.
We just talked about a few of those things. Minutes were on there. Revising the town charter committees. That was something that Mr. Heisen brought forward as well.
Does that just need to be updated or do we have to go to?
I think that it does need to be updated, and what I saw when I looked at it, it doesn't quite reflect what the charter says. So I think it needs to be updated
Okay.
regarding that. Capital improvement plan, I think that's something I mean, I don't know that I'm ready to discuss that now. I believe that Mr. Heisen has provided documents for that from, I think, previous years, maybe.
That was,
So-
not the Javier, the last capital improvement plan. But I think he worked a little with the chief too, so the chief probably needs to be involved with that too. But I do think we're supposed to have a capital improvement plan that we could do over the next year or two.
It is required for the comp plan, and so that has been sussed out in that process, so we will have a document we can refer to
That's great.
and make changes
Yeah.
to if necessary.
Yeah.
So just so you won't know. That.
The Scanleys,
We're gonna meet with Nancy.
Nancy, okay. And then we briefly talked about already the meals tax on the sale of food and beverages at the special events. Mr. Bowling and I've sent him a couple emails on that. And like he said earlier, it is really sort of in depth, like whether we charge taxes or not for the different vendors. I think we said, or Mr. Mayor said, that if it's a vendor that's already has a business here in town, that's sort of a no-brainer. They already, are paying their taxes. It's when another merchant comes in that is not from here. I think that's something that we still need to investigate. I don't know if you want to talk.
You can tax them, that's what I said, but basically, if they're paying the tax on the food and then for like a business license tax, in another locality, the sinus law says that where they have their business, if it's not the town of Scottsville, where the place of business is controls, you follow me?
Yes.
So in other words, if you're taxing them for the same gross receipts amount, meals tax, whatever you want to call it, that Goochland is taxing them on, and Goochland is where their business is actually from, then the
It's
situs thing,
taxed.
as I understand, it says that Goochland gets the money, not you, and you can't double tax them
Right,
on that proceeds.
right.
Okay, but if that's in the meal, that's in that one situation only, that's when they're preparing meals in another locality and bringing them to the farmer's market. Okay, that's how I interpret that city of Charlottesville fact sheet that we talked about. But in the other situations, my advice was to tax them and let them have the burden of proving that they don't have to pay it because they're taxed somewhere else. That was my advice.
Right. And I
Well, they're gonna report what they report too. It'd be a lot to kind of make sure that they're reporting this. The right.
Well, tax is a sticky wicket. Everything's complicated about it, but you're asking people to report income and they don't want to pay the tax. That's just the way, that's the nature of the beast.
So I was bringing that up because I was really curious about the wine festival. And so the different wine vendors that come in, like whether they, and I say come in, the ones that aren't from, the Scottsville.
Yeah.
So if they come in, what are the taxes that they would owe? So that's what started that conversation that I had.
Well, if they sell a bottle of wine, that's definable here. That's
But I'm talking about a drink.
a glass of wine.
Yes,
I think you can tax that.
I think that we can too.
Yeah,
And they haven't been doing that before.
No,
but you haven't had that many wine festivals.
right. We had one last year.
It's not like it's been going on for 100 years.
But there are vendors that, yes, that sell alcohol.
Well, you can also do that for the beer by the glass too, as I understand it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to even think about that. It's making my head explode. But I don't know what to say about that. They've never had to pay it before. How come there were no penalties for that? Because
Well, that doesn't count what happened before if you're going to start to do it. I mean, basically, you just had the wine start. You have been selling wine by the glass. That law, from what I just heard.
Yeah,
Right,
that's correct.
right. So
I mean,
what's it before and after? I don't understand, It's this is going forward. This is the new way you're going to do it. If that's agreeable to.
Just talking about perception.
Yeah.
That's it.
But most people are used to paying a sales tax, if you will, on And now the meals tax is the ultimate piggyback that's added to the sales tax, you know, which adds to the total cost of the thing, but they're pretty used to it.
Yeah, especially with Fridays on the Canal, it's got really popular and people really love it. So-
Right, so, yeah. So is that something that council wants me to pursue, or you want more information on it?
What information I'd like to know is, I was at the last one, there must be 2,000 people there. And is there any way we can find out how much we make at a typical canal basin event on Friday? I mean, is all of, I mean, proceeds and those vendors were going left and right, there were a lot of people there. It'd be nice to know what we're pulling in, you know?
Right now, it's zero. If I
What?
understood what the
Right,
town administrator
right.
said, right now, zero.
Well,
Those are just that discussion,
we get the meals tax.
do we? Because if the food was
Or they,
prepared someplace else,
that's the value put up.
so they're not paying it.
Yeah.
I just heard zero. Am I wrong?
They pay a fee for each vendor, pays a fee.
The, Chamber of Commerce paid, I can't remember,
Chamber paid the
B,
business license
Yeah.
fee for the vendors.
And
The
the-
vendor's still responsible for the meals tax, they haven't been paying it.
So when are you gonna start paying it?
But do they know?
That's what she wants to do.
They should have known, because when I was in on the board meeting when this James River, this river on the Friday evenings got set up, the meals tax was discussed, the poll tax was discussed. And the whole thing was discussed in thoroughness, and it doesn't seem to have turned out the way I remember.
right, I agree with you.
But they're charging for sales tax, right?
I have no
We-
idea.
Well, that sales tax is the state
I
side.
do believe they are, but I mean, the
I
only
bet
place
they
that
are.
I bought
I
is
bet
like a
they are.
JRB here, and I mean, they're already right here.
Yes.
So I, and that's the only thing I can vouch for, is paying the tax on that.
Yeah, and I'm
Right.
So I'm sure
like
they,
Harper Hills.
well, Hart Hills is in Scottsville, they don't pay normally.
They aren't, oh, I didn't.
Well, the meeting that,
They're here, but they weren't,
Yeah.
they're not a business.
I understand now.
the meeting that, Mr. Mayor and I and James Walker and Whitney had, was that a week ago? Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. We actually asked them for their paperwork. We wanted to see their tax forms, their, meals tax forms, and
The vendors?
People in the-
we told James Walker, that is the, president of the chamber, that we wanted, wanted this information. So I've not received that information yet. But it's the start of what I'm thinking is some, ensuring that the town is getting the correct taxes that we should be receiving.
Vendors, some of the vendors did and the chamber come to one of our work sessions and kind of, if that's another question.
This is the first time they've missed.
Sometimes it's hyperventilating.
I think they, I don't know if you want that, I have to laugh. I'm sure they're gonna be super excited about paying more tax to the town of Scottsville, but I don't see how I don't know how they're obligated, how they get out of it, to tell you the truth, if you want to enforce it.
Right. And the way the itinerant merchant, tax reads, and correct me if I'm wrong, instead of, you have until the 20th for regular, meals tax for businesses here in town. For itinerant merchant, it's the day of, when they're rolling up in town. That's the way that the,
Itinerant just means that they're
They're mobile.
somewhere else.
Yes.
That's not a storefront.
yeah.
Yeah, like JRB, not being itinerant,
I got
and they have to.
How much is that tax? That's more than
And so that's what.
6.5%.
It's probably just an education, opportunity to the business. And then-
Yeah.
I think if anything connected with alcohol,
Businesses
they'll pay.
back in here, is that what is being suggested?
I'm sorry.
Not just the event, but just the event.
Say again, Miss Angeline, what?
I was talking about, we were talking, he was saying that it was maybe a little awkward to talk to them about increasing their taxes. And I don't know that that was.
No, that isn't what I meant. I was just smiling about the fact of getting them here and say, hey, we're gonna assess more tax for you. What do you think, guys?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if that's what we wanted to. do.
Well, I may want to see it, but, you may want to think about it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm a little levity helps, you know, basically, I think if you want to enforce the tax, it's enforceable.
Okay, I
You know.
think that's great. I'm just saying that, we talked about having a one pager that would outline the taxes and why they would be taxes here, not here, that kind of thing, just a one pager to let them know, here are your responsibilities, and these are the taxes that maybe you don't.
That's what.
I don't know, but I think that kind of communication is better than having them come in to talk about it.
Yeah,
But-
and all these people know about all these taxes, especially if they go to a whole bank. So it's not something that's unique to the town of Scottsville. As a matter of fact, they're probably paying it everywhere else and not paying it here because they can get away with it. Okay,
All right. well, that
not to
sounds
be
good
too
me.
cynical about tax collection in the process.
So what's your all's direction to me? Tell me what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Bring us some more information.
Yeah,
Well,
but they already, the folks that say the 4th of July, those itinerant merchants were all squared away, right? They already followed the rules, right?
I can't honestly say.
Yeah. Okay, just.
So that's.
I haven't done my confirmation yet on
Yeah,
those
yeah.
numbers.
I think we should have policies that we can share with all the vendors and all the event
I
people
think
and say, this is what, no, I don't think they know.
Isn't what you've done with Jamie Walker?
Well,
With the
that we're not
change
gonna
for the
tolerate.
Yeah.
Tell them you're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have instructed the people that run varieties on the canal to make sure all their vendors know they're responsible for the
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They don't want to, we want to.
I think you'll get it.
Thank you.
So, yeah. These states,
Tax collecting is hard, but you gotta